Hey, it's Alex from KIISFM. So I am really excited about today's interview because we talk to a lot of people, but it's not every day where you actually, I'm going to actually interview one of my coworkers. I'm here with Patty Rodriguez from The Morning Show. Hi, Patty.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to be here.
It seems so formal because we see each other every day. No, but the main reason why I contacted Patty to do this is because, yes, she is a producer for Ryan and Sisney in the morning, but you have had a crazy past year and you do a lot outside of these walls, and I really just kind of wanted to, have our listeners get to know you a little bit more, number one. But also, now is a crucial time to do this, for me at least, is because the Selena by Mac line came out or is coming out, and you are the reason why this came together, which is insane to me. But before we get to that, because you wear so many different hats. Mm-hmm. You have a jewelry line, you are an author, you've now done this, and I kind of just wanted to get to know you a little bit too, and just see how did you even get to this point? You're from LA, right?
I was born in LA, raised in Linwood, small city outside of the big city LA. Mm-hmm. And but I'm an LA girl in out. I mean, this is my city. I know the city from the bottom up. And
you grew up listening to KIISFM?
I grew up listening to KIIS. I grew up listening to Rick D. So that was a long time ago. And every time I would listen on the way to school. And every time I would listen to the music and to the voices coming out of the radio, I always imagined myself being part of that.
That's crazy.
In some way or another, that's what happened. And when I was 16 years old, I somehow managed to get in here, and that led to an internship. And the interesting part of that part of my life, is we only had one car at home, and we lived in Linwood, and the studios are here in Burbank. And I had to lie to my mom and tell her that I had a very early class in the morning, so she could let me her car.
Stop.
So I can drive to Burbank and do my internship. And my mom, most amazing woman, agreed to lend me her car Monday through Friday so I could drive here, and she would take the bus to work. And if it wasn't for those little things that happen in your life, like you don't become the person who you are,
Yeah.
And to me, that's a very, very important part of who I am. That me telling my mom that I needed the car and her taking the bus to work, so I could come here and start building my dream. It's those little pieces of your life that make up who you are.
Yeah, I always say, because a lot of people ask you, how did you get into radio? Yeah. How are you here? And I always say everyone's path is different, mm-hmm. but I always kind of see there's a reoccurring theme with people that do they get involved and they do their passion and land their dream job or whatever it is. It's always either their sacrifices or oftentimes the sacrifices of others that help you kind of get to this place. And it's really thinking back on those moments and kind of being thankful that you had people, you had a loving mom,
a foundation at home that was able to support what I was doing. And my mom being an immigrant from Mexico, not really understanding what I was doing, she trusted me, that I was making the right decisions at that time, because trust me, she wanted me at school instead. Yeah.
I think most of her moms did.
Then she's like, an internship, what's that? Okay, but it's those things, and I think we all I think everyone that's a creator or has a creative mindset or has this we're very passionate about the things that we love, and we feel we're gonna get to that point no matter what, and we're gonna find a way to get there no matter what. And these obstacles don't seem like obstacles; they just seem like just part of the path. Yeah. And you just get there.
Do you feel like that's a part of your mom and your upbringing, and even specifically your mom is the reason why you do not strike me at all as someone that gets comfortable with where they're at. You are a producer for our morning show on KIISFM, which is a big deal, but you're I'm gonna be an author too, and I'm gonna start a jewelry line. That exhausts me just thinking about that, and yet you still have this incredible drive to wear all these different hats.
It's things that I always wanted to do when I was a little girl, things that I only dreamed about. I literally would play pretend at home. I would pretend that I was a book author. I would pretend that I was, being interviewed on television. I would just play pretend. And I think our imagination, when we're children, is so important, that those things lead to, for these things to become reality. And you mentioned that I have all these, these things going on, but to be honest, like, they just don't feel like work. They don't feel like I'm not, there's times when I do feel like I'm exhausted. I'm also a mom.
Yeah.
Of 2 children.
Yes.
Two small
Which is also a job.
It's also a job in itself.
Yes.
But when I had my first child, that's when I had like this revelation of like, I have to give more to him because he is our future, just like all our little children are our future. And if he doesn't see his mother going after her dreams, what impact am I giving him, or who am I? What kind of role model am I for him? And when he was born, that's kind of like this light bulb or this like shiny moment happened of like, I have to do more, not for me anymore. Everything that I'm doing now is for him.
Yeah. Now, growing up in Los Angeles as a Mexican American, it's interesting because I'm not from LA, and I'm from New Jersey, the Philadelphia area, and it is so diverse out here. But there were things that I wasn't really introduced to until I moved here. I lived in Texas first, but I remember sitting with Nelson, our friend Nelson, and who used to work on the morning show, and I remember him talking about growing up in LA and the impact of Selena. And that was something I was never familiar with. And that was, for me, Selena was watching the J-Lo movie on VH1. Right. That was really the extent of my knowledge for her, really, because, we had Bruce Springsteen in New Jersey, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it wasn't something that I had really grown up around. And just hearing him talk about seeing him kind of getting emotional talking about it was very interesting to me. And that was when I was like, wow, there is a certain impact this woman had.
It's not a relationship that you have with a celebrity. It's, she is family. And I still say is family because she means so much to us even to this day, even 21 years after her death.
So why? And I think that's what I was also excited to hear you talk about as a young woman growing up in Los Angeles. Because how old were you when she passed?
Oh my God, I was probably 9 years old.
Okay.
I was young, and one thing I remember a lot was my dad was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
She was beautiful. She was a beautiful woman with a beautiful body and a beautiful voice. So men obviously gravitated toward her. They were and then women, we saw ourselves in her. She had the same hair texture. She spoke Latina women. She spoke Spanish and English. And sometimes she wouldn't be able to pronounce the Spanish words properly, like many of us. Living here in this country where we come from, first generation or immigrant parents. She understood who we were, and I think she was one of the first celebrities, icons that we truly, us Latino Americans, saw as someone just like us. And when she passed, I mean, to me personally, when we were really affected by it, because when she passed, it was the first time I saw my dad cry. He came home with tears in his eyes, and I'm thinking the worst. I'm like, what's going on with you, Dad? And he's like, turn on the TV. And he rushing to get the remote control. And here we're watching, everything unfold in Texas. And my dad's sitting there with tears streaming down his face. And I'm like, whoa, this is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm seeing my dad cry.
Yeah.
So having that image, in my head, growing up, and it's always in my mind, and we're always listening to her music. She's she's there at our parties, at our baptism, at our quinceañeras. She's there where our hearts are being broken. She's there when we're celebrating life. She's always there. And we see all these and now where there's 50 million Latinos in this country, yet we're still being treated like minorities. It's just, I think when Mac creating this for us, it kind of sends a message out that we're no longer in the shadows. This is our country, and we're this is our country, and we're just as American as anybody else.
What made you then 21 years later give you the idea to start this petition? Because that's how it all started. What was amazing was to see how quickly you got those signatures. And like you said, she had passed away 21 years ago, and her impact is still so huge.
If not stronger, I feel, with new generation of fans. The idea to me, the idea came to me when I saw Mac release a Marilyn Monroe collection. And
right.
That was in 2013. And I really thought, I'm like, oh my God, if they can create something for her, they can definitely create something for, for icon, for Selena. So I emailed the CEO of MAC Cosmetics in 2013, and I pretty much just said, I'm a consumer, I'm a Latina. We are as women more likely to buy beauty products than any other group in the country. I think it's time for your brand to thank us for that.
Yeah.
And we went back and forth for a few emails, and then that kind of just died out. And then I tried to create a Twitter hashtag, Selena Quintanilla for MAC, but it wasn't getting any traction. So then I kind of just got busy with my baby, started doing other things, and 2015 came around, and I saw an image online of a MAC lipstick with the Selena signature.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my God, it's happening already. This is amazing. They're finally doing it. And then after like a little research, I ended up finding out this image, which was so amazing, well done, was actually created by Jose Figueroa, a MAC artist at the time.
Wow.
Also just saying, we can dream.
Yeah.
Also with the same idea. So I went back to my Mac, I went back to Mac, and I said, look, I'm not the only one with this crazy idea. There's this, there's image going viral right now all over the web. You guys should really consider it. And I didn't hear back, so then I'm thinking I have to do something drastic. This is not, I was meant to see this image for a reason. I was meant to ask that question 2 years ago. I was meant to email them, like, I can't just stop now. So I created the petition. This was the night before my son's birthday. I should be stuffing the piñata. Instead, I'm creating petitions. So I created the petition. I left it alone. The next day, I'm celebrating my son's birthday. I come home, and there's literally 10,000 signatures.
That's amazing.
I don't even know how it happened. So I emailed Mac, and I said, look, I created this because
you weren't taking me seriously.
And I just, I just knew the power of our community and the love that we have for her. She's our icon, and I say to everyone, she's the American woman. She's the American woman right now, and she deserves to be celebrated. We deserve to be celebrated, and it's an amazing feeling to have been able to do a little part in the creation of this for our community.
Is it true that you contacted her family because you had to get the family's permission to do this?
Yeah, I took the liberty of contacting the family somewhere between the petition happening and all the chaos of what was happening at that time, and I reached out to Suzette Quintanilla, and I just told her, I'm sorry you don't know me. I know I sound crazy, but I created this petition, and I want to put you in contact with MAC Cosmetics because I want you guys to talk. And they connected, and the rest is history.
It's like hearing that and then seeing this, seeing in its packaging. Is that just so surreal that this was just because you had this just drive? And it's like, what does this mean to you? Because you're talking about, this is a woman who passed away 21 years ago, but as you said, her legacy is almost even stronger now.
Yeah.
But you have a generation of MAC consumers, of young boys and girls that love makeup, and they're going to be reintroduced to, or introduced to Selena maybe for the first time too.
I just, when I see it, I just think of, my community. it's I can't think of anybody else that deserves it more than we do. And I know it's there's a lot of problems in the world, and makeup should be the last of our worries.
Yeah.
But I think it's a symbolism of where we're heading, as a community, and of the power that we have. And I just want this to serve as a vision for our community to dream bigger, and to just reach for the sky, for the stars, to just believe in magic, to believe in themselves. That's what I want. I want our children to believe in themselves, and I want our children to continue doing these things, to put who we are. I'm getting emotional, sorry.
It's okay. You're allowed to.
I just want our community to be inspired and encouraged and continue growing, with love and dignity and respect, and continue giving, just loving our country. It's we live in a beautiful country, and this is our country. Yeah. It's also our country. We're also American.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, just to not only have do this, you're making me emotional, and see this happen, but the fact that I think it was the most liked post on Mac's Facebook, and it sold out.
And the biggest event they've ever done in history.
Which you were at
Corpus
Christi.
I was blessed to be there, to be part of the event, to just see it all come together. It was an amazing experience, something that I will never forget. And I just hope, we continue collectively to continue creating, for each other. Just let's continue creating. The world will be a better place if we just create.
Yes, it would. Create and love.
Create and love.